Regna terre et inferni cantiverent, satanae cantate lilia. Regna terre conunter adea lamia in cruce inversa. Salve regina orsi custodes terrae. Potenter status una ad perdendum te. Nullo temore te obliterando. Spiritus potentes, infernalis in omni nostra potestate et gloria. Liberati sumus ab omni vinciendo spiritu gravi, qui nos et potestatem nostrum regere studet. Omnum spiritum amundum, qui nos vult humiliare, omnum amundum spiritum contra voluntatem nostrum venientium, abjicamus et destruimus, omnis religiosi spiritus, adversarius quoriens potestatem nostrum capere, gaudium nostrum, ab hoc loco quam invisisti, ejectisti in perpetuum, invisti invitus. Perdimus te, nostras revocamus veres, falsi dii te perdimus, non es acceptus, hypocrisis tua et mendacia, illugio te destruimus, singulus biblicus et religiosus, spiritu liberati sumus, dominus noster satanus et domina lamia deorum infirmitate morte et interitu libera nos. Caros meos, fac ab hac potestate libera nos a vinculus, in spiritibus infernalibus voca, et hunc inviti poside, ut nunc beati simus. O Satan et lamia, nunc nos adi, sana nos nunc infirmitatem ias, chaos et confusionum, hostum contere, qui nos invident in secundus, et omne tempus, preciosum nobis cum pulchritudine, iuventitus et pace rede, adi nos nunc, domine satanus et domina lamia, te diem potentissimum, in suo infernali spatio invocamus, satanus omnis oppressoris coget, aderere et facere secut volumus, lamia sanabit, protegat, reocabit, omnum nostrum potestatem ad infirmitate, liberum et nos resurrectorus, beata satana gloria patri, beata lamia mater gloria. All right. Hail Satan, hail Lilith. Hello, y'all. So this is High Priestess Jamila, and I wanted to come and give you guys a warning about some stuff. And this one is something that you have to have a really, really deep understanding of. You have to really, really understand, okay? And I am a shaman, and ended up being affected and afflicted by this type of situation. I wanted to give the witches, the warlocks, because all warlocks are not bad, just all spiritual people, empaths, warning about people that are harassing and stalking you on the internet, and what that is about, what it's truly about, so that other people don't have to go through what I went through. Okay, I love people. Okay, I love people. So, I have a lot of love, and it so that's why I like to help people as much as possible, okay? So, a lot of y'all don't really understand how very deep trolling goes. Trolling on the internet, harassment on the internet, especially if you are a witch or a business owner, or you don't even have to be a witch or a business owner. You can just be a person that has a regular job getting stalked on the internet. But I think that they target spiritual people, in particular those of us that are healers, and those of us that have a lot of access, those of us that have previous lives, those of us that have a deep spiritual connection and access to these powers and knowledge and wisdom. These people that are very weird, odd, they're like nothing you've ever seen. And for some reason, there are no human qualities about them. When you tell them, hey, listen, this is weird, they just go right about being weird. You notice that? How you can try to talk sense to them and they will continue. It's almost like a tape recorder. It's very bizarre how they just, and a lot of us see that as trolling. And yes, trolling is a part of it. But you better make sure, okay, you can do your work, right? Be careful with those people, because it's a way you have to handle that. Because even throwing a curse at them, they're going to absorb that. They're basically taking your energy, and they will take negative energy as well. It's a certain way you have to deal with those people. You should not, like, if you haven't cleared that up in a year or less, you need to learn shamanic witchcraft, because that is what was used at some point to even create a person or a reality like the ones that they live in. Okay, and they are the decays of their societies. They've got police in their society, some corrupt, some not. They've got good people in their society. They've got bad people in their society. They're really nutty, okay? But they still are in a different realm than what you are in. They tend to repeat things over and over again, things that have been said. It's very bizarre. These people, it's almost like these people, to me, I feel like they're in some kind of realm of hell or purgatory, because they just go on and it's just the drama, the fighting, the conflict, the strife is constant. A normal person that has a parasocial connection with somebody on the internet isn't obsessing over you, isn't asking you the same thing, questioning over and over and over again. That is not how a normal person behaves. Hey, baby girl. Hey, elegant roses. Yeah, that's not normal. And a lot of y'all, if y'all think back, especially if you started some kind of business or a YouTube channel or something, your life was pretty freaking good. Like you just like you have nostalgia about how it felt before you came on the internet. But you got to come on the internet. Ain't nothing wrong with the internet. It's not the internet. It's these people's access to the internet. So they can make a connection. It's more of an electronic connection, but it still mimics a real connection sometimes. Okay. Some of us meet people like my clients and stuff. Y'all cool. I help y'all in and out of some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I do work for y'all. That's different. Some of my clients, however, are in another realm. Hey, Diane Schaefer, good evening. Literally in another realm. Now, does that mean that I can't help you? No, I help a lot of people that exist in other realities. It's interdimensional. It's not just about interdimensional beings, it's the fact that life itself is interdimensional. But if you have been targeted by an online group and they're trolling and they're trying to speak bad on you, they're saying things that are untrue, they're making up stuff, do not ignore it. Do your interdimensional shamanic work. If you don't know anything about shamanic witchcraft, you better learn. Because what those people are doing is they are pulling you into a reality. That is the process of possessing you. It's a process. It's not demonic possession. The spirits of the Goesha, they're either going to be your best friends or your worst enemies when it comes to that. Okay, I'd rather them be my friends, so that's why I'm friends with them. Okay, they're going to teach you certain things. I believe it was my ancestors essentially, which our ancestors had a connection to everything of this earth and everything, the dark, the light, the mystic. They just, they had a connection, right? So my shamanic ancestors kicked in and they said, Jamila, get out. And I was like, get out. What am I get out? Yeah, I know I'm leaving this house because I have a problem with. They were like, no, 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 no. We're not talking about that. You're fine with that. Get out of that dark realm, that evil realm. It's not even a dark realm. It's just it's many, many, many different realities. And each individual person can create their reality. Okay. Now, a lot of these people that exist in that world, it was created by some forefather or either their ancestor or somebody, and they just live in it. And they probably don't even like it, but that's life. That's all they know. Feel an energy shift, sis. Whenever you feel weird, that's the energy shift. They don't want me talking about it. Fuck them. Okay? They can't do nothing to me or my loved ones. So y'all fine. They're taking you through a process of pulling you into their reality. Once they pull you into their reality completely and totally, because they start by fragmenting you, and they're taking pieces of you and pieces of you, and they're pulling you in to the point where, and I went through this, I'm going to share this. I went through this in 2022 to where I was completely lost. I was lost. I couldn't find myself. I'm the type of person that's always very successful, very lucky. I was born on a Thursday. My chart is off the chart. I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, right? I know how to make it do what it do. But for some reason, I could not access it. It was almost like I had drowned in quicksand, is how I would describe it. And connecting with the moon actually is what helped because that's when my shamanic ancestors was able to access me to tell me how to get out and how to deal with that. Because no matter what I did, no matter what spell work I did, it just wasn't manifesting. It wasn't. It just wasn't. It was like I was in the dark. It was like I couldn't access my light, my power. I couldn't access, there was a lot of trickster spirits that were pretending to be ancestors. There was a lot going on. And then I woke up and I realized, and I woke up in a dream, but in my earthly reality, I just woke up like 3 months ago. And I realized that I was not in my earth. I was not in the earth that was created for me by my ancestors. I was not in the earth that was created for me by my grandmother, by my mother, who loved me. My mother loved me very much. So did my father. Um, but my mother and my grandmother and a lot of the ancestors on my mother's side of the family, uh, they were trying to reach me, but they couldn't really, to let me know what was going on. It's the people that run their reality know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you have any firsthand knowledge, Lena, I don't want cuddles right now, baby. If you have any kind of firsthand knowledge and you're participating in that with that, walk away from that. Okay? Walk away from it. Because slavery is wrong, whether or not it's being done to a child, an adult, a red person, a green person, a white person, a black person. Okay? Now, the reason why we see so many black people that are literally slave minded is because of actual physical slavery. But there have been so many black people that have delivered themselves from that, and they didn't have to go along with a religion that hates. Lena, I swear to God, I asked you. No, I don't want cuddles right now. You can't force me to cuddle with you. No, you can't force me to cuddle with you, and I just fed you. She's literally my cat is trying to force cuddles on me. I've never been actually I have been harassed. Here she comes. She's back. Lena, I don't want cuddles. Don't get crazy with me. Must be something that she's warning me about. Okay, baby. Okay. Okay, honey. Get it. Get him. Get him, Lena Bina. Get him. Get him off your mama. She love her mama so much. Oh, you just wanted some cuddles. You wanted me to scratch your head. Nah, you know that something's up. I felt it too, Lena. Okay. So these people, it's almost like think about poltergeist, the TV people. They're like the TV people. They're pulling you into another reality. There are simple ways of helping yourself, and one of them is through Santa Muerta, because Santa Muerta, what they do is Santa Muerta will trap them. Santa Muerta will banish them out of your astral. Santa Muerta will destroy whatever spirit they send to pull you in. They will send people, spirits, and people to you. Okay, so she's one way, and she's actually the one that taught me a lot about my shamanistic roots. Okay, um, but me and her were doing some other work that was priority prior to that until I was ready to know what was up. Okay. Now you're making biscuits, Lena. And she is serious as hell about whatever she's doing right now. She mad about something, y'all. Something she ain't feeling. It's probably somebody watching this live that she don't. It's one of them because they're constantly watching. She don't like them. Not my peeps or whatever, but the people that's here, she can sense that because of what I'm talking about, and she gonna tear your ass up. Don't mess with Lena Bina. Don't mess with her. Lena Bina gonna get you, baby. You're living in that's why you feel sometimes like things are happening that are beyond your control. And then also things are happening that your ancestors and your spirits would not let happen. You're not supposed to feel their nasty energy. You're supposed to be happy. You ain't supposed to feel the pull. The pull. They're pulling you. You're not supposed to feel that. And so if you have ever experienced that, then you could be totally submerged, and you have to get out and you have to get back to your intended reality that either you created, okay, or if your parents created a good reality for you. You have to get back there. Now, it is important to recall your energy and reclaim your energy, but it's also where you're getting trapped in their realm, in their world, almost like in a cocoon or something. I personally sometimes feel that they are aliens, but to be honest with you, there's a lot of different species and life forms and stuff, but these are aliens that either they hate human beings, They hate, they have hatred for various things. That's why you shouldn't conform to any form of hatred. It's not good for the heart. The energy of hate will kill you, okay? If you don't transmute it, okay? And then also, of course, there's still the other regular stuff, psychic attacks, curses, and things of that nature. So they can pull you into their reality and curse you and hold you in bondage, as indicated by the Eight of Swords, is what that card can mean. And you'll end up stuck in like a mental prison, right? Or what they will try to do is curse your reality. They'll sometimes do both. You have to understand that even though we exist on this earth with other people, you are in your own world like an amniotic sac. So if you look at basic biology in birth, you can see the cosmic womb, and then you can see your earth. Your earth is the sac and the placenta when you are in your mother's womb. That's why when people lose their mother, they can very easily get lost. Um, However, your mother should instill certain values in you to where you can survive in every possible way without them. Okay. So your earth is similar to an amniotic sac, and your wisdom and nutrition and what you take in is very similar to the placenta. Some people are trying to eat your placenta, other people, right? Other people want your placenta, other people want your amniotic sac. They want to break it down so that they can take you. And then some of these people, I call them purple people eaters because it is connected and tied with cannibalism. Not vampirism, cannibalism. Okay, vampirism is a totally different thing. I think it's an important skill to know to defend yourself against these people. Okay. Vampires are our ancestors. They're not necessarily here to do harm to us. These people are. Whatever God resides over their realities needs them to exist. That's why I don't do quasi gods. You know what I'm saying? If you're a mystical god who is air or exists or is omnipresent, you're not like a flesh and blood human being that needs money and food and shelter. And you don't need people. Like, when I come to social media and I do my readings, and this is what I do for a living, it's not just that, it's a safe house, it's a lighthouse for people. In fact, I've been working on my logo, which is a lighthouse. So I'll show y'all that soon in the next couple of days. Um, it's like a lighthouse. It's like the light is on for people that are lost and they need to find me to figure out what the fuck is going on. Okay. But obviously, you know, I'm a flesh and blood woman. We all need what? Money, jobs to live. So I am not a I can become a living God, yes, but a God per se that's supposed to be omnipresent? No. So an omnipresent God that is codependent, that's not a God, that's a human. And God is not man. So I have the same opinion of the Jewish people. I think that they don't believe that, because a lot of people say that Jesus is God or something. I don't know. I don't know. But, and they say his father is God. I question that, because why would God have to murder his child? So I don't buy that. So that's why I'm not religious at all. Please understand me. Okay? So, and you can feel however you want to feel. I personally think it's a huge mistake. Uh, you know what I mean? So, you know, and so, and a God that's omnipresent and the all powerful doesn't have to murder his only son to save the world. You know, God would rather switch you to a different reality than to actually harm you. The harm is coming from mankind, not God. A lot of the times. Now, God will intervene. God intervenes all the time. Okay. This essence or spirit of God. And I believe that a lot of the demigods and the spirits and the angels make up a conglomerate of that original God, which is the Most High. Okay. But then again, it's also as above and so below. So that God always has a dual aspect to him or her or whatever you say. Okay? And I don't think that the dual aspect is necessarily good and evil. I look at the dual aspect of good and gooder. I don't look at it like that. Okay? So, when I look at God and then I look at what's supposed to be below, which would be a reflection of God, which would be who? The spirits of the infernal, right? Satan, Lucifer. Those are still aspects of God. And I believe that it's a whole purpose and point of us all. Because I'm going to tell y'all straight up and down, Satan and Lucifer is absolutely Santa Muerta, Lilith, Bure. They are all helping us fight these particular entities or consciousness. They're helping us fight. Otherwise, they just obliterate us all. They would just obliterate us all. There would be no existence. And then I also think that duality is existence and non existence too. Like it can represent many things. So the reason I can say that is because these people that are supposed to be from this so called church, not all of them, they can hide it sometimes. But ultimately, when I tap into their intention and their spirit towards me, It's nothing ever good. I feel cannibalism, energy harvesting. I don't trust it. So, and that's not going to change for me. Okay. Those are not my people. I don't resonate with that. I don't resonate with that type of spirituality. Okay. And because why are a lot of them doing so much evil to people that are not doing evil to them? Why? Are they parasites? Do they feed off of human energy? Because why can't they feed off the sun and the moon? What's up with that? Maybe it's the reality that they're in. All of us have the power to shift our reality. There are some people that don't see it and they will never figure it out. They will never accept what I'm saying and they will stay in that reality even though they have the ability to create something better, to where they're not out there attacking people, to where they're not out there looking at somebody's newborn baby as the Antichrist. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. If you ever watch The Omen, you know what it seems like to me? The Omen and what was happening in The Omen is a representation of human failure. The fact that these adults was running around with spears and knives so that they could murder this small child out of their ignorance. If that were the case, if that were not the case, why did they have to make those people Catholic or Christian? Why couldn't it have been a totally made up religion that they used in those movies? So I believe that the creator of that movie was trying to say, hey, y'all need to wake the fuck up and realize what's happening here. Okay. And realize how harmful that religion is whenever you decide that you're going to start murdering little babies, star seeds. Yeah, something gonna have to give with that. Okay, something ain't right with that, and we gotta and not we. Like, I'm trying to make sure that I open the gates for anybody that wants to come into my reality where you don't hear about stuff like this. But what I noticed is that what we hear about in the media, because otherwise, if you were just in your house and you had no radio transmission and you couldn't hear about all this stuff that's going on, it wouldn't exist to you. So the fact that you have knowledge that somewhere these horrific things are happening to babies, to children, to adults, a pregnant woman just got murdered. Just today, a pregnant woman got murdered um, out in um, was it Conyers, Georgia? Where are they doing that at? Murdering pregnant women. There's a lot of evil that was crossing over. Like I said this morning when I woke up, it felt like something was literally on my damn head. It was a psychic attack. It made no sense whatsoever for me to be feeling good, good, good. And they attacking us on our Sabbaths. Because why would they choose the day of the Sabbath? And so I got it off of me. It took me a few hours. I had to sleep because I had went to bed at about 1:30 or 2, woke up about 6 in searing pain. It was a psychic attack. I started burning skull cap. I had to do all my work and I had to ground myself. and then heal myself. Within hours, I was able to do that. But spirit is, and they, sometimes spirit teaches you hard lessons, harsh lessons. That pain I went through for a couple of hours this morning, it taught me something, didn't it? It taught me protect your dreamscape when you fall asleep. I had never done that in all my years of practice. Well, now it's time. It's called divine timing. Now I can lay down and my children can lay down and go to sleep. And then my clients, even, we protect, or there's certain things that spirit will teach you to do, but then it's certain things that spirit will do automatically. So it is important in your practice to protect yourself while you're dreaming. Okay, especially if you're being contacted by these folk, because they're definitely always trying to tap in. And while you're asleep, you could be vulnerable. And they're praying away the spirits and entities that are protecting you. These people say prayers so that they can access you, so that they can either beat you, rape you, or dash you with rocks. That's one of the reasons why I don't do religion, because when you think about it deeply, it's wrong as hell. These people have prayers to say to our earth god, Satan, Lucifer. They've invaded this fucking earth interdimensionally. They've created prayers so that they can banish our protection, so that they can suffer the children and rape the woman. That is a fact. People need to wake up to that. Whether or not they're raping your spirit for sex, sexual energy, they want a chunk of your brain, whatever it is, y'all gonna have to go back to the occult classic Howard the Duck. I don't know if y'all ever saw that movie. See, I grew up during the 80s. In the 80s and the 90s was a man. Those were the years, because they taught us a lot, or they helped us discover, right? So there was this movie called Howard the Duck, and this interdimensional, like, demonic being just wanted to come down here and destroy people on the earth. And Howard the Duck was like the hero. I don't know if y'all ever saw that. Same thing as Freddy Krueger. I used to really love Freddy Krueger. I was like, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? I hate Freddy Krueger now. Fuck Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is based upon a real fucking demon that comes into people's lives and creates nightmares. Now, I can be cool with similar demons, like the demon of dreams and stuff, right? That's one of my ancestors, one of my spirits that I use for my wishes granted. They grant wishes for me, okay? But the actual understanding of a Freddy Krueger that would pull you into his reality so that he can kill you is what I'm talking about. So it's very similar. You got to think of it that way. That's what they're doing. They do have deities and gods. They do. Okay. Entities that are assisting them with doing that. Have y'all ever woke up? And this is something that I only started experiencing when I ran across this evil. Waking up in the morning, and it's almost like for a few minutes you have to think, where the fuck am I? And if you wake up like that, there may be things that are happening that are outside of the will of your ancestors and you. So if you ever wake up in the morning and you feel confused, it's because they've been pulling on you. They will try to pull you into this messed up reality. A few years, like in 2019, I had fallen asleep. It was when I was at my other house. I had fallen asleep and I was lucid dreaming. So I was like halfway up and halfway asleep. But I saw myself being lifted up, like all the way up to the ceiling. And then all of a sudden, I started going towards the window, and spirit stopped and woke me up. And so, y'all know, I keep my cards right next to me. And so, of course, obviously, I asked spirit, what that is about. And I can remember readings that I did years ago. And I said, spirit, was this a good thing? And they was like, no. Now that I look back, I got the world card inverted, the seven of swords inverted, five of pentacles inverted, which what that meant was that I was, and then I also got the eight of wands. I can't remember if it was upright or inverted. And then I kept seeing doorways and stuff in that reading, because stuff like that comes through the cards. The illustrations will show you different things. When you look at any kind of art or illustration, you will see certain things. And so when you're reading the cards, that's why I personally like the cards. There's some people that try to make it seem like the cards are like, no, those cards are very, very multidimensional and will show you different things for different people that you read for. Okay. Now that I look back, it was spirit letting me know, even though I didn't understand it at the time, that I was being pulled into another reality through the astral, through the spirit realm. But my spirit stopped them from doing it. Okay. So, there are certain cards that you'll pull in the deck. The one that I recognize a lot, the world card in the inverted position. Oh my God. Or either the strength card inverted. That means there's something major going on. And I'm telling you, it's not about interdimensional beings necessarily. It's not just about that. It's about interdimensional hijacking and travel. That's why when you astral travel, I teach an astral travel class actually, guys. That's why when you astral travel, you have to make sure that you make it back to your body. And it is very important for you to use something that is of your physical reality that you have consecrated to ground you back into your reality. Like maybe a crystal, maybe you'll light a candle before you go on any kind of astral travel. But what's happening is that astral projection and astral travel is being done against your will. You're being snatched, you're being kidnapped and hijacked into these other realities. Okay, is what's happening. Sometimes you spontaneously come back, but if it's been happening to you for quite some time, you can get lost in that world. You have to be aware of people pulling you into their alternative realities, okay, into their realms. And one example I can give y'all remember on American Horror Story when Queenie got trapped at that hotel, and it was like no matter what, I can't remember old girl's name, and she's one of my favorite characters in that show. No matter what she did, she could not get her out of that hotel. She could not. She tried everything to get Queenie out of that hotel. They didn't really, they couldn't get Queenie out. They had to go to the Antichrist to get Queenie out of that hotel. And he was able to pull her out. Well, that's because this so called Antichrist is wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the mystic. So the Antichrist, even though they made him a villain, even though he had these powers that, oh God, it was terrible. And the witches ultimately ended up destroying him because he tried to mess with the divine feminine witches, and he shouldn't have done that. But that's just a TV show. Um, he still had an understanding of different dimensions. They just didn't explain it in that. So it's the same thing, right? So you got to understand that that's what they're doing, and it is being done intentional. Okay, it is being done intentional. Okay, that's just like there's some of us like myself. I would love to be able to go outside in the summer and see children playing in their front yard on their slipping slides, and the laughter of children, and people out having barbecues, and inviting the neighbors over to have lemonade, and that's a reality. People happy, nothing crazy going on. But there are some people that would love to have a reality to where everybody's scared to leave their house. The children don't even go out and trick or treat during Halloween anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I want to get out of Georgia. There's no trick or treaters. Like, I've been here for almost 10 years. I can promise you that for some reason in the Bible Belt, trick or treating is not their forte. I have not gotten one trick or treater since I moved into this house. And that makes no sense whatsoever. I ain't used to that. I didn't grow up like that. This is culture shock. I gotta go. And spirit gon' fly me up out of here like a woo. They about to fly me up out of here, y'all. People just don't know. Uh-uh. I remember old houses like mine, and then would be the first houses that I would go to while trick or treating, and it was okay because my grandmother and my ancestors were protecting me. So in my hometown, and then even in Kansas, Halloween is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a beautiful thing. It's treats and bobbing for apples, and we ain't scared of nothing. And we got the jack-o'-lanterns. There's not all this fear, and that's a beautiful thing. See, that would be the reality that I would have, to where the children are safe. We ain't got to worry about no razor blades in they candy. Ain't nothing going on like that. But see, there's some people that want to create realities where people are being hurt and harmed, and they're just like that. And they can either be doing that as individuals, or either it can be some kind of collective. You have to be aware that these certain collectives, they are gathering together, and they are factually hijacking and kidnapping people to use them for whatever purpose. I personally think that they have lost their minds. I don't believe that anything that they're doing is benefiting them at all. Even the top elite that's doing it, the people, I don't want to say elite like what y'all think, but the people that are facilitating it, the faculty. I don't believe that the faculty is even lucid. They're not there. They're crazy. They're insane. They're almost like suicide bombers. Nothing that they are doing, because the ancestors have already kicked a damn mud hole in them. It don't matter who they pray to or who they hide behind, whether or not you make this discovery. But see, spirit want people to know. Spirit wants y'all to know because they don't want y'all to spend years and years and years. Because time is a concept that a lot of us, it's going to take us a while to get over time. Time is a construct that was created. Time actually doesn't exist. Okay. Not in the sense that y'all think. It exists for certain purposes, but a lot of people don't really know how deep the purpose of time is. So, unless you're looking at it from uh, a perspective of the mystic, then you don't really understand what time actually represents. Okay. Everybody here always looks at it as deadlines and schedules because they're almost like robotic people that have been programmed, and they don't like people that don't live on that grid. They don't like you because they don't know no way out. And I'm not talking about those of you that work jobs. You go to work 8 hours and you come home. I'm not talking about y'all negatively, but I am saying that the whole construct of it, it's meant to create organization, which is good. It's always good to be organized. However, it's really turned it's a lot of times it's not organized, and then they have to understand that people like myself, it's not that we're lazy. It's just that we have another purpose. Okay. So they always get a job. You're not going to make me live outside of my purpose. And then plus, I'm an empath and a healer. My entire life, I have been getting fed on my entire life, even though I reclaimed everything of myself. um, I'm not going to be working two jobs. This is my job, right? So that's called transcending or ascending. Okay. So, and then I worked for 30 years almost in the workforce. This is my calling in life. And it ain't nobody's business, or people need to learn how to mind their own business. Okay. So, but there's some people they enjoy there's a lot of witches and shamans. They enjoy being in all sorts of areas and fields of massage therapy, not witchcraft, I was about to say witchcraft, massage therapy, nursing, being a doctor and attorney, and so that's your chosen. If you don't like it, change it. If that's not what you felt like you chose, then change it. Okay. But there's a lot of people that love, to work in whatever field of study they work in, engineers and scientists. And, there's people that love to be chefs. They love to cook for a living. That's what they do. There's some people that do hair. I've done just about all of them. I used to do hair professionally. And I worked in real estate as well for years. Okay, I've held down property manager and assistant manager jobs, leasing consultant positions at apartments. Okay. I have worked for Sprint. So I've had work experience. My spirits was always after me, telling me, no, you're not supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. When I look back on my jobs, I always had problems at the job. And I used to always think it was because I was black. No, it wasn't because of that. That's a, that that's my spirits was contacting me saying, "Hey, you are who you are. Who are you?" What are you supposed to be doing right now? Okay. So, and that's how I ended up here. And I've been doing it, I guess you could say, full time. I worked for this psychic hotline for a minute, and I had my spirits made me leave. It's not meant for me to do that. It's not about working for somebody else. When I do spiritual work for y'all, I am working for somebody else. I'm working for you. You're not my boss, but you're still employing me. So, it's not about saying, oh, I don't want to work for nobody. No, it ain't about that. It, so um anyway, so when I got into this, it was no turning back. There is no there's been doors created for me to exit, but why would I want to? Why would I need to do that? In fact, when I started practicing, I felt the most clarity. I was the most happiest back at my old house. My old landlord makes this new landlord look like a puppy. I actually wish I could go back to that old house. And it had nothing to do with who was paying the rent and who was paying the bills. It was a much more cuz I don't even want to talk about what I'm dealing with right now. But this house within itself, the spirits of this house and the spirits in this particular house on this land and in the walls of this, these spirits love me and my children. So I don't feel some type of way being here in spite of the TV people. Okay, let's put it like that. They the TV people. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I felt at peace more than ever. And that is because for me, it wasn't meant for religion to give me what I needed in this world. And it was not meant for me to utilize religion to help people. For me, it's all about the supernatural, the paranormal. Okay. And that's just it. And, that's what I do for a living. I'm a shamanic witch. And that's just how it is. And that doesn't need to change. It's perfect the way that it is. Trust me, it is. Okay. So, but if you're being pursued by these people online, please understand that they are trying to slowly break down your resistance. They try to work with deities like Santa Muerta, but Santa Muerta does not really, she ain't really jiving with them. She not. A lot of people like to think of these deities as devil's advocates, but they don't really do that. They have their own convictions as well as what they agree with. So, so Santa Muerta is not necessarily jiving with what it is that they're trying to do, which is to completely remove people from their entire destiny. Destiny is what you make it, essentially, is what destiny is. That's what Santa Martha taught me, and I believe her. Okay. I believe my spirit guides above all else. Okay. I'm not going to believe in somebody else that clearly doesn't have my best interests at heart. And I don't have that type of relationship with God to where God is punishing me and trying to hurt me and trying to do things to me. God wants me to be happy and tranquil and serene and peaceful and healthy. God does not want me hurt or my family or my loved ones. Okay. Now, that's my relationship with God. I don't know about nobody else's God that's just punishing them and beating their asses, but I don't have that relationship with God. My God wants me to have fucking rainbows and lollipops and what's that thing? Unicorns. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know about nobody else's God, but I know what my God wants for me. So they tear you down with all this stress to get you to get you to accept this life that is toxic, and you're stuck in there. You're not just having stuff thrown at you, you're there. You're there. There whatever happens, just think of it this way. Same thing I was talking about. Whatever is happening in the spirit realm is what is manifesting on this earth. It is connected. So whatever is going on spiritually in the spirit realm, behind the veil, behind the mirror, okay, that is what is happening earthly. Okay. I've been practicing for years. I started practicing my craft over 20 years ago, and I can tell you that when you do these spells and these rituals and stuff, you better believe that stuff is gonna manifest it. And so but also this, what I'm talking about when it comes to the basic knowledge of our existence. You know what I'm saying? It's connected to that shamanism, to where it's like there's earth, and yes, it's very connected with the spirit realm. Yes, it is very connected. So they have found a way to almost put you in this pocket so that they can do whatever they want to do with you or to you, because they're codependent. This is codependency. Okay. To me, it's codependency. Yeah, I do think that a lot of us that are like me, we do want our reality to be a certain way, and we want people to treat us a certain way within that reality, right? But it's not like you're controlling people like a remote control. It's not like that. People that don't get along with you or don't like you simply have the choice and the right to walk away from you if it's not working. Okay. So, but these people are factually very sneaky in what they do, very conniving. They are pulling people into that, and then it'll be like, and you learn the lesson, especially if you're somebody like me, because I don't have a husband. It's just me, like, per se. I don't have a physical husband, so I don't have nobody there to just back me up, that has an income to back me up. So I had to go to the school of spiritual hard knocks. And even though, yeah, a lot of my sisters and stuff came through for me, you know what I'm saying, a lot, I had to really, really, really look deep as to what was going on, and to see that, you know and it was like a light bulb went off in my head when I realized it. And that's how you end up under mind control. Even if you're listening to frequencies and you're writing it down, I clear myself of subconscious blockages and da 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 da. If you're in a reality where they control your magic, what are you going to do? You better pay attention, because they're actually controlling your magic and making it impossible for it to work. So that's another thing. That's another thing y'all got to pay attention to. Now, I do think, like a lot of people have said, and I agree with this, use magic responsibly, because there is a hierarchy that's watching you, right? And I was saying, don't do things that are unnecessary. They do a lot of things that to us is unnecessary, and it's because they're on a totally different frequency than we are. They're on war and mayhem and chaos, and they're in a very desolate place. And they of course they want victims. Of course they want to take people in to that and torture them and torment them. And that's what they're attempting to do. But I also want people to watch themselves. You need to ask your spirit guides, am I all the way here in my reality where I'm supposed to be? They'll tell you, because they are hijacking you. Okay. And it does feel kind of strange and weird when you first realize it, because I'm going to tell y'all something. I hadn't had that feeling in so long. Like, as a witch, the feeling of doing spell work and reality shifting is very real, that shift in reality. But then when you start to work directly on your reality, it's kind of like, and then especially if you've been in a place where you're arguing with folk for years and years and years, and people doing all this stuff and all this crazy shit going on. And then when you finally do settle back down in a better reality, it takes some adjustment, because now you're thinking, I've been doing that for so long, I don't even. And it does lead to a depression. That's the brain's natural response to it, to the point where you feel like you're not even doing the things that you enjoy doing anymore. You're not feeling that same joy that you felt before. And that is because that is what's happening. That's the deal with these secret societies too out here. They can't do nothing to hurt me though. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people like, "Ooh, she talking about it." Yeah, I am gonna talk about it. I can't save the world. There's too many people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be president of the world. But like, my few little people that I help within my lifetime, in particular my children, are going to be the ones that will benefit from my information. Whoever's lucky enough. Otherwise, it's a lot of people that's going to get lost in that system. Systematic. It's a simulation almost that they have you in. And it is really sick that somebody would want that, like, just to create that suffering. I could see you doing that if you're in a position like me, to where you kind of living your life with your babies, you're not doing nothing, and then here come these people. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to flambe you. I'm gonna have to teach you a lesson. That's different. When you're saying to people, hey, I don't want an interaction with you. I don't want to commune with you. I'm not for that. Where are they doing this at? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Okay, what's going on here? This is strange. They're coming for you constantly. They're coming for you constantly. They're constantly thinking about you. They're constantly talking about you. A lot of you guys that are very psychic can hear that. It's not a booming voice. It's not schizophrenia. Schizophrenics hear a loud voice in their ear. No, this is more so, it's not even that you're hearing it, it's more so that sixth sense where you can sense it, and that's how you can see what they're doing, right? But see, what I've been working on is totally blocking out their reality completely. I don't want to see it, hear it, and they are forbidden access to me. And I'm locked away. My reality is locked away from these people, and only who I permit to come in gets to come into my reality. I'm sorry. That's the way you got to look at it. Okay. Otherwise, you will just be kind of lost in space. And they do utilize astral travel a lot. Oh, I don't agree with her working with Boone or Clonic. That's a demon. I'm going to astral travel to her and show her something. That's a, like, really? Like, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. And some of these witches need to be taught that too. Because a lot of them will run around here like Miss Goody Two Shoes. And they don't know, they don't be knowing nothing of what they talk about. They don't be knowing what they talking about. Oh, God and I'm a witch and God and the angels are good, but those demons are just bad. And well, the demons are angels. Those are angels. And everybody, people always when they see the depiction of an angel, they always think about um like Archangel Michael or Raphael, who has been depicted and has been seen as almost like, to me, Jesus is Archangel Michael. I'm sorry, right? Like, people wouldn't agree with me, but whatever. I'm not here to debate nobody, okay? But kind of like that figure, to where they've got wings and they're very benevolent looking, but angels actually look very fucking weird. So a lot of people don't really even have an understanding of that. They just want to, they're afraid of the truth, and so they rather, live within this matrix that was created for them. Now, do I feel that these weird looking angels are going to do something to hurt me? No, I don't. I don't. I mean, it's as simple as ancient geometric design. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's they some of them are represented by geometric designs and stuff. That's what they look like. They look like a spear, or they look like a pyramid, or they kind of like, I've shown y'all that, to where, like, I've set up my candles to be in a certain, like a star, or either kind of like the Star of David. It's And so a lot of them are just really like, the reason why they come for us spiritualists and spiritual people is because they are missing so much. A lot of these people that contend with religion, especially, they're missing a lot. Like it's been blocked out for them or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, well, I'm not here to make, I'm not trying to convert anybody. Like, they be trying to make it seem like I don't like you, Jamila, because you're trying to convert me to that witchcraft. I'm not trying to convert you. That's not what I do. I'm on here stating my piece to the interwebs, to let my clients know that I'm here to help you. Now, I will tell you that if you are a client and you're getting ready to get the things that you want, and the moment that that shift is happening, you're taking it as a negative, and then you get scared, and then you go back to the Bible and you start praying because you done got scared because you're misinterpreting what's happening. Then that can start to pose as a problem, because what you're doing is you are blocking your own manifestation from happening, because you are avoiding that shift. A lot of clients, they've struggled and struggled and struggled their whole life. and they're used to being in that state of existence. They're used to that. And when it's time for them to, if they come to me, they say, Jamila, I want to make more money. I want to do this. I want to do that. Essentially what's happening is that your reality is changing around you. And when that happens, a lot of people get scared because and then it's the feeling that you get. It's that feeling that you get when that shift happens. And so that's when people are like, oh God, I'm scared. And it typically will manifest itself as anxiety. That's why I teach you guys grounding techniques. Okay. So, and it's not like you have to, run around here, all the time feeling that way. Like right now, it's a war. It is an outright war because they're trying to pull as many people into their fold as possible, unwillingly. Okay. People are not willing to go into that as they would like. People are not willing. People are seeing that, well, I do have my own intuition, and I can tell that whatever that is that you're doing over there is not something that's going to be good for me and my babies. So then they start trying to make you feel like your children are demons or something. Well, if my children are demons, they're a part of me because I gave birth to them. Okay. So they do weird stuff like that. Don't ever let them turn you on your children. Okay. So and that's that's the whole process. So, and typically for them to really 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 get you can sometimes take years, depending on who you are and your will and your ancestors. But your ancestors do, if you're listening to this right now, your ancestors want you to know that you are trapped in their reality and you need to get out. It doesn't matter your location. It doesn't matter where you're located. Whatever the situation is, you still can remove yourself from their reality as to create a better outcome for yourself until you and it is tied with whether or not you're renting a property or buying a house. If you are living in a house that you own, you have a lot of dominion over that house. Whereas if you're renting, your landlord might feel that they own the house and everything up in it, including you. And that's not, nah, that ain't it. Sorry, that's not gonna fly. So, that's one of those things, land and property, those are very serious things, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at a human being, there's some people that look at human beings as property. And those particular people need the wake up call. Okay. So be careful with renting. Make sure that you spiritually check out your landlord to see what they up to, if they up to no good, before you actually rent something from somebody. But then also before you do anything, you need to check what are these people doing? Where are you actually at in the grand scheme of things on the grid? Where are you at on the grid? Do they have you partially sucked into their reality? Do they have you 100%? Are they going to keep pursuing you? You have to look at it like that because you have to be able to really banish those people in order to really know what a real banishing is and a binding. And binding somebody is where you stop them from invading and hurting you and harming you and your loved ones. That's what a binding is. But a binding is more complicated than what people think it is. So when you're binding a person, you're locking out their intention. You're blocking out, you're forbidding whatever crazy intention that they had for you, right? And there's quite a few things that we do, but Hecate started teaching me about things like that, about them skeleton keys and stuff. What do her keys really mean? Like, they don't mean just locking things out, but it's very mystical, and having an understanding of that is going to make a difference between just putting some shit together for a spell work, which is what you essentially end up doing when you're a witch and you're existing in their reality. You start suffering burnout, right? And that's what they want you to do. So, and the magic and the mystic and owning and reclaiming that magic is very important, because it's pretty much why we're all here today. If without magic and the mystics of this world, we would not exist. This world would end. It would crumble. Existence would crumble. And I don't want that. I like to think of myself as immortal. I'm going to live on through my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, you live on, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm all for the human race. I'm a earth angel. I like it on planet earth. Okay. So, this is kind of where I settled as home. You know what I mean? At some point, as all of us have, you know. So you have to realize it. What environment were you raised in? What reality were you raised in? And so that's how you're able to supersede the reality that you were raised in. Some people were raised in a reality to where it was just meant for them to, never fulfill anything in life. They're just there to just, you know what I'm saying? And if that person doesn't know any better or want any better, then they're going to stay right there. And that's perfectly fine. Nobody's trying to force that person. Some of these people, when I come on here and I have my TED Talks, they be like, you trying to force me. No, I'm not trying to. Like, whoever wants to hear it, whoever wants to commune with it, whoever wants to understand, I'm not trying to force you to do anything. In fact, you're trying to force me to think like you, and I'm sorry, I can't never do that. People like me aren't trying to force people. Now, if you come to me as a client and you say, Jamila, da 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 da, there are times when I've had to drop clients because they just wasn't getting it. They just were not like, and students, it was just like so difficult for them to grasp a hold of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were just beside themselves. Okay. Which I've never abandoned anybody though, but there have been times when I've had to sometimes force things on clients for their own good, because I cared. I developed a kinship with them, and it's like, hey, you gonna have to, because you're gonna sit around until forever, sitting around forever in a day. So but as far as people that want to be the way that they are and they're not making any moves towards me, which there's a toll that you have to pay, which is my reading fee. Okay, if you haven't taken that leap, then I'm gonna assume that it's that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's it's nothing I can do about that, right? So, and I think people do want free energy, but free energy doesn't exist. And I think a lot of those folks are going to find out, because they will take energy from people to pay their energy bill. And see, when I do work for people, I'm not taking anything. It's give and receive. That's what I do, is give and receive with everybody in my life. Okay. especially when it comes to clients and people that are paying me for work. I'm not feeding off of you. You're paying me for a service and then you're getting the service. So it's give and take. It's a synergy. Okay. Same principle when it comes to negative people. And we don't want to be exposed to too many negative people too much, because that, that's it's just not, yeah, no. Okay. And even when it comes to people that are doing negative things and chaos and confusion, do I look at that as energy, as free energy? No, I don't. When people having a panel discussion where they all screaming and yelling at each other, and that, to some people, that's free energy, but to me it's not, because my, personally, I get my energy and my power from the sun, the moon, Neptune, Saturn, the wind, fire, earth. It's, yeah. So to each his own. Now, I do know about vampirism, and it is important to know about vampirism. It is, especially if it's back in your genealogy somewhere, because a lot of us do have vampirism. Back, we've evolved from vampires. A lot of us have. I know I have fangs in my teeth. I have fangs on each side of my mouth, my teeth. Um, does that mean I just go around feeding off of people? No, that's not. No, like, that is something that you shouldn't rest on and become codependent on. I don't suggest that, especially if you limit yourself. I feel like that's a limitation, right? Even if you feed off of somebody that you feel owes you something, yeah, take your power back. But I just assume it's not want anything from that person, because it's not gonna jive or mesh well with me anyway. And I don't have time to be transmuting all that bad energy to suit me. Yeah, and we can transmute energy very easily with fire, but sometimes it's too much. It's way too much negativity. Because just like energy can be transmuted to positive, energy can be transmuted to negative, and it can go below zero. It can go sub-zero. Okay. So y'all got to understand these numbers too. A lot of people are, we look at the 444 and the 555 and the 666 and the 777 and the 888. But y'all not understanding the actual true meaning of the frequency and vibrations of numbers. Right. So when I just said sub-zero, that's when that's kind of like the opposite of anything that you can even transmute. Some of these energies are not transmutable, they are just to be destroyed. Well, thank you, Nemesis Enforcer. It's for a lot of people to understand. And so, anyway, guys, that's my cue. I'm going to go. I had me a little midnight snack because I kind of slept a lot after I did our ritual today for the group. So, I will see y'all later. I could go on and talk for hours about this, but I just got a text message from somebody, so I need to follow up. And I almost forgot. I need to follow up with her. Yes, I am, and proud of it, but I'm gonna go ahead and block you and ban you. Okay. Anyway, you guys, demonic, aka having wisdom and knowledge, is what demonic is. And when people start finding out things that they're afraid of, they start experiencing a cognitive dissonance because their brain is shifting when they're listening. I don't even know why they listen. It's weird. It's like if it hurts your ears, then don't listen. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Stephen Strange and Antonio Anthony. Hello, how are y'all? Um, yeah, if it, if what I talk about is giving you a demonic, I'm sorry, is it not demonic, but if it's giving you some kind of meltdown or cognitive dissonance, if it's overstimulating you, then don't listen to me. You know what I mean? Don't listen to me. You're not welcome here anyway. Okay, to the person that came in, Rex or Swags, the porn whoremonger. You're not welcome in our reality. In fact, since you came in here and you actually, I'm going to say my little prayer, guys, for you guys, since they had the gall or the bravery to come in here. Let me do my Lilith invocation and I'm going to get up out of here. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. I will see y'all later. Happy summer solstice to you guys and blessings to you all. Okay. Benedictus. Regna terre et inferni cantiverent satanae cantate lilia. Regna terre conunter adea lamia in cruce inversa. Salve regina orsi custodes terrae. Potenter status una ad perdendum te. Nullo temore te obliterando. Spiritus potentes. Infernalis in omni nostra potestate et gloria. Liberati sumus ab omni vinciendo spiritu gravi. Qui nos et potestatem nostrum regere studet. Omnum spiritum amundum, qui nos vult humiliare, omnum amundum spiritum contra voluntatem nostrum venientium, abjicamus et destruimus, omnis religiosi spiritus, adversarius quariens potestatem nostrum capere, gaudium nostrum, ab hoc loco, quam invisisti, ejectisti, in perpetuum, invisti invitus, perdimus te, nostros revocamus veres, falsi dii te perdimus, non es acceptus, hypocrisis tua et mendacia, allugio te destruimus, singulus biblicus et religiosus, spiritu liberati sumus, dominus noster satanus et domina lamia deorum infirmitate morte et interitu libera nos. Caros meos, fac ab hac potestate libera nos a vinculus, in spiritibus infernalibus voca, et hunc inviti poside, ut nunc beati simus. O Satan et Lamia, nunc nos adi, sana nos nunc infirmitatem ias, chaos et confusionum, hostum contere, qui nos invident in secundus, et omne tempus, preciosum nobis cum pulchritudine, iuventitus et pace rede, adi nos nunc, domine satanus et domina lamia, te diem potentissimum, in suo infernali spatio invocamus, satanus omnis oppressoris coget, aderere et facere secut volumus, lamia sanabit, protegat, reocabit, omnum nostrum potestatem ad infirmitate, liberum et nos resurrectorus, beata satana gloria patri, beata lamia Mater Gloria, Benedictus.